working there on the riparian zones, so that planting that we're doing, the in-stream structures that we're putting in again, the fish hotels at the bottom there. And we're not just focusing on the big angling species like the Murray cod and yellow belly. We're doing habitat for small body natives as well. So a little bit of everything in there. Invasive weeds and pests like carp are really some of our greatest challenge and things that we need to continue to work on through this program as well. Fish Dreaming is one of our newer programs, and we're honouring First Nations connection to fish and rivers and fishing through this project, but not just the places. We're actually restoring culture, ceremonies, celebrations, traditional fishing customs, and traditional fishing methods. So there are a couple of real photos in that up there, if you can see them. So one is about telling the stories of fish through dreaming, through the stars. And the other one there is a shellfish reef that has recently been created out of some artwork of a local indigenous artist. So we permission. So that sort of thing. Lastly, our Tackling Litter program handles one of the biggest social licence challenges for our fishers in Australia. And we're doing that through sort of 3 key ways: through prevention. Judy had tangle bins in her presentation earlier. Removal, we're doing cleanups. It's actually Cleanup Australia Day this coming weekend, and our crew have got 20 big events out to get more fishers involved in Cleanup Australia Day. And through recycling. So there's no program to recycle tackle in Australia at the moment, and we're working at how we get that pathway going. So I talked you through a little bit earlier about some of the key parts and the key things to our success. And you'll see some of those reflected here again in some of the hardest parts and the challenges that we face, because not everything that's important is easy. One of the hardest things we find is getting the word out to more fishers. So having more people hear about us, having more people come and get involved, and to get that value proposition across to those people. Giving fishers the opportunities that they're looking for. So, we know that fishers are incredibly diverse range of people. They all want to volunteer with us in different ways. So one size doesn't fit all. We've got to have ways that people can volunteer just self-driven, at events that are scheduled, and so on. So that range of opportunities is something that we're really still working on. Breaking through with those good news stories. Everybody knows how hard it is to get a good news story, to have a headline. We've been able to highlight Recfisher stewardship a lot with the bad news stories, like the algal bloom that's happening in South Australia at the moment. But what we really want to do is see the headlines around Recfisher stewardship and make good news, make headlines in their own right. And the last part that we really find difficult is having the research that supports restoration. So what restoration works well? How long does it take to work? How many fish do these things support when we put them in the water? There's still a lot of gaps in that research to help us justify our work and what we're doing. And a lot of things we're testing still right from the beginning. So the methods and getting them right for volunteers. And to finish off, I hope there's something in there that you can take home to your local fishing community and have them give something back to their fish.
Thank you so much, Cassie. A lovely example of another boundary organisation. Brilliant. Thank you. We have time for one question. Yes, Tom.
The government departments? Yeah, a couple of ways. We do have a lot of meetings with both. We've got environment departments and fisheries departments that are separate. So we're talking to them in every state. Sometimes we have a good relationship, and sometimes people change, and we've got to build that up all over again.
But lots of meetings, lots of relationship building, turning up when they need us in terms of consultation processes and those sorts of things has been very important to those relationships. And really just hassling them a bit, showing up quite a lot and showing them what fish is doing over and over and over again.
Thanks very much, Cassie.